welcome to part 2. And if you haven't watched part 1, please go on and watch part 1. And I'm doing a mini series on the way we should be reacting. Not Christianity shouldn't be based on how we act, because anybody can act like a Christian, right? It's the way we react to situations. In the first part, I spoke about the way that Christ reacted to the lady caught in adultery. Okay, and now I want to talk about, make it quick. Look, let's talk about the prodigal son, right? First, the parable. Why they call it the prodigal son, I don't know. Because the parable is not about the son. The parable begins, there was a man who had 2 sons. The parable is about the man. It didn't start off, there was a son who became prodigal and walked away. No. The parable is about the man. And what do we see in this parable? First, we see that one child took his inheritance, went and spent it, living lavishly and enjoyed and did whatever he did. Okay? We know it's a parable, and we can look into this and say he slept with every prostitute in the world, whatever. We know he did wrong. So he wanted to come back home because he was eating with the swine, so he figured, I'm going to come home. I'm going back to my dad's house. I know what I'm going to do, and this is his mind. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home and tell my dad, hey, Dad, I would do this, and I'll do that. I'll do that. Make me as one of your hired servants. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Come on, Dad. His mentality was that. This parable is found in the book of Luke chapter 15. And he's coming home, okay? And according to modern thinking, or that thinking, you were supposed to think, okay, the dad is going to be upset because this dad blew all the money, this kid blew all the money. So now the dad is supposed to act a certain way, right? He's probably supposed to say, son, what did you do? Why did you do all that? What's wrong with you? And it's supposed to probably say, okay, you can live here for a few months, but you better get back on your butt, and so on and so forth. But what we see with this parable is the way that dad reacted was totally different than what was expected. He reacted when he saw the son. It says he was still afar off. The father went to meet him. He didn't wait for the son. He could have been looking through the binoculars and said, well, he'll be here in a little while. The father went out there to meet him. So that was his reaction. That was against what you would have expected. Then the son says, hey, I've sinned against you. I've sinned against heaven. So on and so forth. Make me as one of your hired servants. The dad was supposed to act a certain way and say, well, okay, son. Come on, let's go home, clean you up, whatever. Remember, he's probably filthy and dirty. He probably ate with the pigs just not so long ago. But the dad's reaction to the situation was different. The dad didn't lose his cool. The dad just said, you know what? Put a robe on this guy. Let's party. See, the dad didn't even listen to to his son's petition. He didn't listen and say, okay, well, yeah, okay, come home and we'll work on that. No. The dad, his reaction was totally different. Put a robe on, party time. They took him home, or what they do? They cut a calf, ate, party time. They did a party. And once again, we see the other son, the one who's always at home, stood at home and was the good boy. We see him upset at the way the dad reacted. Why? Because the dad reacted totally different than what was expected. Hey, hold on, I've been here all this time. You didn't do nothing for me. He was upset about that. You're supposed to do something. No. The dad said, everything I got is yours. What else do you need? Everything I got is yours. But you see, that son, the older son, looked at the dad as some kind of cheap dad. He didn't understand the dad's heart. He could have had his own party, probably week after week. But he probably didn't expect his dad to do that. He figured he has to do all this labor in order for his dad to then do something. You know, I've been here all this time with you, Dad, and how come you haven't done nothing for me? And I think a lot of times we have that view of God. You know, we have that same view. We think we have to perform in order for our dad to react to us. God reacts to you in love because of what Christ did, not what you're going to do. If you read the parables, it's never fair. You know, that's a funny thing. God is never fair. He takes his son who's been blowing all the money and living like that, puts a robe on him and throws him jam. Party time. You see, it's not the way we act. It's just the way we react. And many times when we see people reacting a certain way, we just like, why is he at peace like that? Why doesn't that bother him? Because we let things bother us that shouldn't bother us. Why? Because God's in control. We say it all the time, oh, I don't care, God's in control. He's in control. But yet you're still stressing about something you can't control anyway. If you're going to stress about something, at least stress about something you can control. There are certain things you can control. Yeah, stress about that. Worry about that. You know, let that happen. But don't stress about something you can't control. If tomorrow a hurricane's coming, don't stress about it. Because there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's not the way we act. It's the way that we react to certain situations. The way we react will separate us from other people. Will make us different. Will show that we're different. That we have peace. That other people would want to understand. And then people will come up to you and say, hey, why are you not worried about that? Because he's in control. Alright, thank you for watching part 2. I hope that you learned something. And stay tuned for part 3 on this little mini series on our reaction to situations. God bless you.